Hello, I'm Stephen Hammond, Managing Editor of Telecom Asia. We're here on the sidelines of Submarine Networks World in Singapore. I'm speaking with Mr. Mike Constable, the CEO of Huawei Marine. Mr. Constable, tell us about some of the challenges that you face in running undersea cable.
Huawei Marine, we were formed in 2008, and it's a joint venture between Huawei Technologies of China and Global Marine Systems of the UK. And it really marries up the two parent companies' expertise. Huawei, with their high degree of optical transmission technology and their significant footprint in the world of telecoms equipment, and Global Marine with their 160 years of marine engineering expertise. So you put those two together, we formed Huawei Marine. And it was really to bring some innovation to the industry, because this industry has not seen a lot of innovation over the years. So we like to bring a lot of more innovation and possibly cause some disruption to this industry.
What are some of the global government initiatives involved in bringing connectivity to their citizens using undersea cable?
Most nations understand the importance of connectivity. Internally with their citizens and externally with their country to other nations. So if you look around the world at the moment, there's over 140 nations actively developing their national broadband networks. Now, if you look at what we're doing in Asia, for example, you start to look at places like Indonesia, a huge island archipelago, over 17,000 islands. That's a difficult initiative for the government to connect all these remote regions and bring that connectivity to their citizens. That is certainly something that we've been working on recently with our partners in Indonesia, and that's part of a government-led initiative to bring connectivity to the majority of their islands, and that's called the Palapa Ring project.
Give me some examples of what Huawei Marine is doing to help with these government initiatives.
Well, recently we successfully completed a project in the far east of Russia. Now, if you consider the size of Russia and the remote regions of Russia, that's a challenge for the Russian Federation, the federal government, to bring connectivity to all those citizens. So we were working in, there was an economic initiative driven by the Russian government to develop the Far East region. As such, we were instrumental in bringing a subsea cable network to link the island of Sakhalin and to a remote peninsula, very out in the very far eastern area of Russia. That was quite a challenging project from our perspective, because we were operating in very, very cold temperatures, minus 30 to 40 degrees, but also in a very, very remote region with very little infrastructure. But the benefits were, it's brought broadband connectivity to about 320,000 people who used to rely on satellite connectivity. So they will immediately see the benefits of that ability to access the internet, to undertake new business initiatives through that broadband connectivity. A significant paradigm shift from using satellite technology.
What unique challenges do you face with these large-scale undersea projects?
Yeah, it really depends on the marine environment you're operating in. Russia, for example, we had a lot of challenges with ice and the sea icing over. So we had to phase that project to avoid the ice season. If we look at Indonesia, it's purely the number of islands that need connectivity. As I said, the 17,000 plus islands in the Indonesian archipelago. The Palapa Ring project, which is undertaken in many phases, structures that connectivity. So it's really about the marine environment you're operating in. That's the key aspect that provides those challenges.
How does Huawei Marine actually accomplish this?
Well, good question, and I think it's quite a fascinating process. There's really 3 to 4 phases in developing designing and implementing a subsea cable. I mean, the first phase is really to understand the environment you're working in. And then we take some ships out and we map the seabed so we can understand exactly where the cable is going to be placed. And from then we start to pull together the system design. How many fibres are we going to have? What is the capacity of the system? And we start to manufacture all the subsea hardware. and that's manufactured in various parts of the world. And we bring all that together and then load it onto a ship, and then we basically take the ship out and deploy it in the subsea environment. From there, once we complete the physical installation, that's when we go through a testing and commissioning phase, where we test the system and effectively we hand over the keys to the owner to operate. And we actually call that a turnkey system design and construction contract.